Built for More podcast, Pastor Joby Martin right there, as always. Denny Thompson right here, and we have David Pollack, which I know you are so fired up
Dude,
about,
one of the
Joby.
greatest Bulldogs of all time.
And Joby down there in enemy territory, one of the greatest Bulldogs of all time. I love the way you represent, my man.
I do. I talk so much crap here. Right now it's going okay, especially around Florida folks, except for basketball season, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's not an exaggeration either. He does talk a lot of crap.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
You have no idea. You have no idea how into it I am. I have so many questions.
Listen.
What's crazy is I'm the pastor. Denny's the quarterback coach. 90% of the questions I'm going to ask are going to be about football, and he's going to ask about Jesus. That's how this usually goes.
Exactly.
You fire away. I'm an open book. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm in.
Yeah, in fact, on the way here, I'm like, I'm just going to let Joby have the first 30 minutes of this thing.
Let me start with this. All right.
Okay.
South Carolina, you got the Gamecocks backed up into their own end zone. Describe the play.
Well, it was so defensive players, we aren't the smartest in the world. So when the ball, like you play D-line a lot of times because see ball, get ball, right? Ball move, you move. Like that's just kind of the way it works. And so I will say this is one with a thought process. So South Carolina, when they got into a shotgun situation, and then when they got into trips, which we called every formation, so it was Tucson, and an offset back to our side, like it was a 98% rollout pass. And so I had a good idea of what it was. Now, what happened, Joby, was the luckiest crap in the history of the world. Like I could never do that again in a million years, right? Like I was trying to get to the QB. I was just trying to like bat the ball down. I end up hitting his arm. The ball comes down his back, and I just kind of grab it. And I'm like, sweet. And here's the deal. There's no instant replay.
Right.
Like if Steve Shaw's not right there, right behind me in the perfect spot, we don't get credit for the touchdown. But it was crazy, man. That play is wherever I go, man, in the Southeast. I remember where I was when you made that play, and it was definitely like my career-defining play. I got to go to the ESPYs for it. Like it was wild, it was wacky, and it was something I could never do again if I ever tried.
Yeah, because it's like, is it a fumble? Is it an interception? Is it like
I always just say yes.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
It was 6 points, dogs. Let's go.
Yes.
Your resume is insane, man. It's not like I didn't already know this, but
Sure.
but when you put it on paper, it's like, let's see, another football, basketball, wrestling guy in high school, right? We talked to
I hated wrestling with a passion now. I will
who
tell.
did we just talk to that was
Tyler Shatley.
Yeah, Tyler Shatley. That was right. You hated it?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a quick wrestling story because I think anything's game here.
Sure.
So I went out for wrestling my sophomore year. They needed a fat kid, full disclosure. Like that's what they needed. Like they needed a 275 guy. I was like 225. And so coach talked me into it. I went out the first week and I knew right away, like this ain't for me. Like I ain't about the outfit. I ain't about the wrestling life. Like it wasn't for me. And I went to my mom. I was like, Mama, like I want to quit. I don't want to wrestle. She's like, nope. Once you start something, you finish. And I was like, okay. So literally after the state championship match as a sophomore in high school, I threw my bag in the front seat. I said, Mom, Dad, next time I wrestle half naked on a mat, it won't be with a boy.
Wait, did you win
him.
the state championship?
No, I got second. I was the first place loser.
This guy's second.
His
in
first
sport
year
he
ever.
wanted to quit. Like that's disgusting.
I get it.
Yeah, 3-time first team All-American. That's crazy. SEC Defensive Player of the Year 2002 and 2004. His sack record still remains at Georgia. Graduated with a degree in history. History buff?
I love history.
Yeah. Just always been a thing for you?
I mean, listen, football was priority 1, 2, and 3, but yes, I enjoyed history as well. For sure.
Drafted in the first round. Like, I mean, that's 3-time first team All-American is unheard of.
Didn't you and David Green kind of grow up together, playing ball together?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we grew up in the same city. Grew up playing youth league football together when we were 6 years old, growing up all the way. Still to this day, obviously one of my best friends.
Y'all must have dominated. I mean, to have
we won a lot.
Yeah,
we didn't give up a touchdown for 2.5 seasons. We won 6 championships in a row. Like we were really good. And it's interesting, the group we had, man, like we kind of split up and went to different high schools, and David did too. David went to South Gwinnett. I stayed at Shiloh. We went to GAC. Like we spread out. And everybody was really, really good. If we'd have stayed together, we'd have had a lot of success. But because we didn't, and I was at Shiloh, we We did not do much winning.
Were you a Georgia guy? Like in high school, when you started getting highly recruited, were you just Georgia all the way?
No. See, I grew up, I was born in New Brunswick, New Jersey. I moved down south when I was 4.
Okay.
And my daddy always told me growing up, he was like, hey man, you're going to be a Scarlet Knight. And I was like, what's a Scarlet Knight, dude? And he was like, Rutgers. And I was like, no. And so I started to grow up, but here was the biggest thing, Pastor. Like when I was going into my senior year, I met this young lady who's now named Lindsay Pollack, and my world got rocked. And I never felt feelings like that before. And I drove down to Gainesville, Florida to take a visit. And I met with Steve Spurrier. And it was a 5+ hour drive away from my baby doll. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like 45 minutes up the road to Georgia. The best recruiting tool Georgia had was Lindsay Pollack. And there wasn't a close second. Just going that far away from home, man, was going to be really, really hard.
You know how Georgia fans talk about like Tim Tebow? Like you cannot like Florida, but you have to like Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
That whole team that you guys had, it was hard to pull against Mark Richt too.
Yeah. Richt was the man.
But y'all's whole team was like that. I did not grow up a Georgia fan. Far from it. I've become familiar because of the past couple of years with Carson up there. And I've been up there quite a bit. But I always loved watching those teams, and always found it really hard to pull against you guys, by the way.
Yeah, Coach Richt, I think, set the tone for that. Like, so just for a little bit of my background, like I didn't grow up in church at all, and I knew nothing about Jesus. And my senior year of high school, I told you I met my baby doll, and she turned my heart soft and showed me what love was. And then I had an amazing experience. My neighbor across the street, he asked me to come to a lock-in. I was like, what's a lock-in? He was like, you come to the church and we lock you in all night. I was like, absolutely not. Like, count me out. No way. And then he said the magic words, you get to play sports and stay up all night. I was like, I'm in, sign me up. And then for me, I had a teacher named Mark Watson. And Mark Watson was a physics teacher at a public high school. And he had a Jesus sticker on his computer. And I was like, he's one of those Jesus freaks. And played praise and worship music before class, after class. And I have a lot of energy, and it tended to get me in trouble when I was younger and to this day. And I tried to annoy Mr. Watson, and that dude was just like this. And he was so chill. So the culmination of somebody inviting me to a lock-in started to prepare my heart, which, by the way, anybody can do. Anybody can invite you to Pastor Joby's service. Like, anyone has the ability to do that. And then a life lived worth emulating, which is what Mark Watson did to me. And that piqued my curiosity for God. And I was like, I want to learn more. I want to know more. So my senior year of high school, going into it, I asked my English teacher, I said, hey, for outside reading, can I do the Bible? And she was like, no. And I was like, why not? She goes, I haven't read the Bible. I can't meet with you and make sure you read it. I said, Mr. Watson will. And she was like, have you talked to Mr. Watson? I was like, no, but I bet he will. So I go talk to Mr. Watson, and then Mr. Watson's like, absolutely. And that's the first time, man, I've ever sat down, and he took me through the Gospels. He took me through Matthew, took me through Mark, took me through Luke, took me through John. And man, I just started peppering him with questions. Like, wait a minute. Like, who says this is true? Like, and I'm very argumentative. I'm good at that. Like, it's something I have to tame myself with my marriage, and stop trying to win arguments and just shut your mouth, like, and be where you are and just listen. But I was just like, hey man, like, how do you know this Jesus dude's real? Like, you're telling me this book tells me that, like, and he was like, how do you know Benjamin Franklin's real? How do you know George Washington's real? I'm like, because the history books. He was like, that's what this is. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. And I was like, and then we started just talking about and started looking up the Bible. And man, like, it's the most studied book in the history of the world. Like, there's nothing that's been scrutinized more. There's nobody that's not wanted this to come true more than everybody that was alive. And so started to take that to account, man. And I say all that because that's what led me going. I get saved my senior year of high school. I'm on fire, and God gives me Mark Richt. Like, and you talk about, it couldn't have been any better, man. Like, because I have a great daddy. But my daddy growing up didn't know what Jesus looks like. Now, my daddy's in church with me every week, and praise God, it is awesome. Like, about 3 Saturdays ago, I baptized my mama. She's 65, and that was one of the coolest feelings in my life. But I didn't have that growing up, but Coach Richt was that, man. Like I got to see what a real man looked like, a man following Jesus, a man treating his wife next and treating her like he's supposed to, treating his family. And so that was I think it started with Coach Richt in his presence and the way he treated people and the way he was accepting. And I'll never forget, guys, a good story about Mark Richt. We got a kid, highly recruited 5-star kid. Dude's had enough as a freshman, had enough, like literally cussing, screaming, like he's just had enough. He starts walking off the field. Coach Richt's like, come back. He's like, and he was like, Coach, screw this, I'm done with it. He goes, wait. One last question. Dale, if you died tonight, would you go to heaven? Like that was Coach Richt's last question. So that's the man I got to sit under. And so that's the man you saw on television and from afar that you were like, yeah, something's different about him because there was.
Two things real quick, and I'm going to give you the floor here. One, if you went to a church that had an indoor gym, dude, the lock-ins were peak.
Yeah.
So dope.
If you got a whole night of indoor basketball, let's go. And then secondly, time after time after time, with you being the exception of the people that you are working with now, very few people we've talked to have actually been led to the Lord by their pastor.
Very few.
Including you.
Yeah, football coach in South Carolina led me to Christ when I was a junior in high school. Same thing, man. And I tell guys in sports all the time, especially coaches, man, you're going to have a much bigger influence over those boys. It definitely than the pastors. I mean, we talked to them for a little bit. You know, the Bible says in Ephesians that my job as a full-time ministry person is to equip the saints for the work of the ministry. Because I coached football for a few years until my son graduated. I had way more access to young minds and being a role model for what it looks like to follow Jesus then than even I do now, even though I pastor this big old church. And so good on you, man. And then also
I coach now.
Do you really?
Coach high school football and I coach high school girls basketball for that exact reason. Like I get 100 kids every year, man. Like I get to go make an impression. You know, I had a kid that goes to my church a couple years ago and he's walking around and he's just mother blanking this, mother blanking that. And I had enough. And I just walked up to him like, hey man, like, hey, I go to church with you, man. Like, and I love it that we go to church together. I'm like, are your words honoring God? And he was like, ooh, no, sir. And I was like, okay, that's it. That's all I got. Like, but you're 100% right, man. The coaches, you're in their lives. Like you get access to them, to their vulnerabilities, to their highs, to their lows, to working through things that are really tough, man. So coaches have that unique, awesome opportunity to speak into people's lives. And that's what I spoke this morning in Nashville, and it was to FCA. And I go out of my way to make sure that I speak to FCAs because FCAs do such a great job. And that's what I plugged into college. Why? Joby, they come to you.
That's right.
They come to you. They take away the excuses. They come to your environment and they share Jesus and they show up, you know, time and time again. So, you know, that's why it's so important. They get on your turf, right? Like, and get into their world a little bit, as opposed to them coming to a place that's, you know, not, or it's not new to them, or it's not used to them. They're not comfortable with it as much.
And I know you don't think about this because you are you, and you've woken up with you every day of your life, and you know you're the same turd you've always been, right? We all know this.
Yes, sir.
But you're what was that? 3-time All-American David Pollack. I mean, if you know anything about SEC football in the early 2000s, I mean, and so for you to leverage what God gave you on the field for the kingdom of God, good on you. And you should. Well, and I applaud you too for being so bold about your faith. I mean, on television, on everywhere I see you, just being relentless about talking about Jesus just as much as you're talking about, you know, whatever sport we're talking about.
Well, it's the same thing you do, man. Like it's what we're like, you know, it's funny. We talk about sharing our faith and some people get, you know, uncomfortable with sharing their faith. And I get everybody's personality is different, but like Jesus didn't go, hey bro, like if you somewhat get time, like share me.
Right.
Like we're pretty clearly commanded to share our faith. And so, and I know that looks different for everybody, man, but I think that you find your authentic voice in how you relate to people and how you talk and then you walk in it, man. And sometimes you'll be at a job that it doesn't walk with you and it doesn't walk beside you and it doesn't support you. And I think there's a lot of places in this world where you can make a lot of money and you can be very successful, where you can walk in it and you can be who you want to be and who God's called you to be. I'm still screwing this thing up. You're exactly right. Like I'm still messing up, but to get the opportunity to get in front of kids and stuff, like we have to maximize that. We have to take advantage of that. We have to use, it's just like when it talks about the Bible, right? Like whatever the talents you're given, like let's go use them. We can't go bury them, right? We got to go use them.
Right. You're around college football all the time, season, off season, the whole thing. Have you noticed, can you speak on just that, on how there's more and more people sharing their testimony through sports than it seems like has ever been around?
Well, here's what's happened with the world, man. All of us guys now have podcasts. So like we can now go talk to people. And so I think there's more access with social media now to people. And so you can get to them, you can send them a message, and you can, go on a show but here's the thing. You're getting asked about questions, and you're getting asked about God. And I think now more than ever, like you're getting asked about your faith, and you've got to step up and say yes or say no. And I think a lot more people are just getting more and more comfortable. And I know the Charlie Kirk situation, I think the harvest is plentiful right now, man.
Amen.
Like, I just think that, man, one of the coolest things ever. And I have like 4 or 5 stories like this. I bet Joby's got 100. Like Friday after Charlie Kirk on Wednesday, I'm at the golf course. I just finished. This 18-year-old kid comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, I see you online, man. You put God videos up." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I do." And I love that, by the way, more than anything, when you say that as opposed to you played football. And I was like, "What's up, man?" And we started walking, and we sat in the cart, and he was like, "Hey, man, like I haven't been able to sleep for 2 days." He was like, I'm jacked up, man. He said, "I called my buddy the other night. I was like, can I just come spend the night?" Like, he said, he was like, "Nothing gay." He was like, "I just want to spend the night and I just can't be alone."
Right.
That's what he said. And I was like, well, what's going on? He was like, "Man, something's different inside of me right now." And I was like, "Dude, this is awesome." He was like, "No, it's not." I was like, "Yes, it is." I said, because God's doing a work in your heart right now. Like, he's wanting you to change. Because he said, "Man, I watch porn. I drink. I'm having sex. Like, I'm doing things that I know I don't need to do." And it feels like right now, not before, but right now, I feel like I want to change. And I was like, God's doing something in your heart. I was like, if you're still doing that stuff and you don't feel bad about it, then there's a problem. Like, then you're in a bad spot. So I was like, "Man, I'm proud of you." And this kid, man, started meeting with him the last couple of weeks and met with him probably 6 or 7, 8 times now. And the dude's on fire for Jesus. Like, he is on fire. Like, he's posting Instagram things on his Instagram, and he's sharing it on socials. And like, the dude's attacking the world. And I, one of my sayings with people that I get to know is like, you got to be selfish in the morning so you can be selfless the rest of the day. Like, you got to win the morning. Like, what is your win in the morning, man? What is the most important thing in your life? And he texted me in the morning, man. He gets up at 6 now before school, because he's a college kid. He's like, "I'm getting up before school. I'm reading my chapter," because that's what I do. And he's like, "And I'm working out, and then I'm going to school." And so, but he's just on fire. He's excited, man. And young kids right now, they're so impressionable. And I think they're more curious than ever. And yes, seeing people's faith, man, it's inspiring them. Like, seeing our whole political system, like, basically stand up and proclaim Jesus. That's inspiring people, man. That's stirring hearts across the country. And it's awesome to see. But I think the social media, and I think people are way more inclined now to start sharing their faith because it's so powerful in their life. It's such a big part of their life that they want to share it.
Yeah, I think one of the things you mentioned about social media and guys like you and me, is that for a long time, you could either be saved or you could be tough. Like, those are your 2 options. But you couldn't be both. We actually sell a T-shirt at our church it just says "Saved, Not Soft." Because, the Bible says from the days of John the Baptist that's it, baby. From the days of John the Baptist until the day the kingdom of heaven has been forcefully advancing and forceful men take hold of it. And when people get to hear your testimony, and 1 second you're talking about, being the sack leader in Georgia history, and then the next second you're talking about getting up early to spend time in the Word, the way you talk about and love your wife, these things, they don't see them as either ors. Actually, one empowers the other one. I tell our guys all the time, you'll never be able to stand up and act like a man until you bend your knee to the God-man Jesus and let him lead and love through you. And that's the kind of men that we've been called to. So I do think what we're seeing is a lot more of that, because honestly, for about the previous 5 or 6 years, there was just an attack on manhood. Like, if you were
especially Christian manhood.
Oh my gosh, no doubt. I mean, think about it. I got a 19-year-old son, played free safety. And the majority of his life, everything on the media said, you are the problem. Like, the fact that you are a white Christian male, you in and of yourself are the problem. And man, these boys hear this for so long, and they, how are you going to be who God called you to be if that's all you ever hear from this world? Well, now what you see is the pendulum swinging back. There's kind of like the rise of the alpha male again. Now, what we want to make sure we do is that we don't fall off into the other ditch, right? That we think just because you're a big, bad defensive lineman and you got the sack record, that makes you a man. That doesn't make you a man. It makes you awesome, but it doesn't make you a man. What makes you a man is to be who God's called you to be.
And that is such a great point. And here's how I do it. I can't do it without God. You can't do it without God, right? But here's the thing. I think we get I used to wake up in the morning, guys, and I used to check a box. I'm not going to lie, like guilty as charged. Like, I read my Bible. Bam, I checked that box. I used to read it for information, and now I read it for transformation. Like, now I want to be changed. And when I put the word of God in here, it comes out of here all day long, man. When I have the word of God in here, my decision-making throughout the day is so much better. Like, that's why I got to do it early. I get up every morning, I go in the sauna, and I get still, and I pray, and I listen to God. And occasionally I'll turn on Pastor Joby. Like, literally, that's what I do in the mornings. I mean, I'm gonna sit there because the Bible says, be still and know that I am God. Every relationship that you have in this world, well, every relationship that's worth having it's not transactional. It's a give and take. And in order to have a relationship with God, we have to talk to God. We have to invite him into our day. Like, I used to have that transactional relationship. Morning, nighttime, before meals. Like, check, check, check. Like, now, like, I'm very intentional in the morning, man. I get up, I get that 20 minutes of quiet, of listening, of being still. I've learned how to pray. Like, I don't know about y'all out there, but some of y'all, like, and I want y'all to know this, like, prayer can be awkward. It can be weird. It can be repetitive. But if you start to practice the habit of getting still, and then you start to go, okay, like, what is the system in which I pray? And for me, it's come down to, like, I have the 3 R's, and this is how I get the best prayer for me. The first one is reflect. Like, when I wake up in the morning, I go out there, I'm reflecting on yesterday. So, for example, my buddy had a baby boy yesterday. Like, I'm reflecting on that. I had a business meeting. I'm reflecting on. I had football practice. I'm reflecting on. I had a workout with my workout group. Like, all these things that like, I'm reflecting on. Okay, where did I win? Where did I lose? Because I need a scoreboard, man. Like, men need a scoreboard. Like, we need something to compete at and something to chase. And so reflecting helps me do that. The second R is repent. Like, now I got to get rid of this crap, man. Like, I got to give this stuff to God. I messed up here. I talked to my bride here like I shouldn't. I didn't show up for my family like I should. I got to do a better job, right? And then the third R for me is repurpose. And now, like, God, repurpose everything. Like, I'm inviting you into this day, Lord. I messed up here, here, and here. Like, I got a meeting at 1. Please, man, be there. Be with my words. I got a speaking engagement. I got a podcast. Like, I start to bring him in now throughout my day, man. And that's how, like, prayer for me has become, not just routine, not just repetitive, and not just the same thing over and over. And I don't really have the words. And now I'm starting to find the words. And now I'm starting to have intimate conversations with God. And really, he's involved in all the details of my life because I'm inviting him in.
Yeah, that's so interesting because I've been thinking a lot about that in my personal walk lately is this is still fairly new to me. And the prayer part of it is I don't ever feel like I'm doing enough. I don't feel like I'm doing well enough. I just wrote down the 3 R's. But I'm going to tell you what my issue is I find myself praying most of the day, but I have a really hard time spending 15, 20 minutes doing that, 10 minutes doing that, 5 minutes doing that. I don't know if it's the ADD. I don't know what it is.
No, it's not either.
I can help you with that.
Okay.
I can help you with that because your boy's the same way, Denny. Like, I did. So here's what I did. First day I did that. This was years ago after I got canned. Okay. I remember I started a new routine because I got fired at work and I'm like, all right, I'm at home now. So I took my phone and I went out to the hot tub and I go 20 minutes of silence. That's what I'm doing. And I set my alarm And bro, I walked out there, and when I tell you, I looked at my phone and it was 5 minutes in. And I thought I'd been out there for 4 hours. Like, it's kind of like a muscle, man. Like you slowly get used to it, but you just have to stretch yourself. Like you just have to do it a little bit and then do it a little bit more and then do it a little bit more. Man, 5 minutes felt like an eternity. And now there's a lot of times, man, 20 minutes, I'm like, dadgum, I just got in here. You know, like, so it can be worked, and I promise
I will try that. I will try that because that's been I've been convicted about that lately, like in a serious way of like, okay, you gotta get this, because David does a podcast with this preacher as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, you sound like you're much further along. My main reason for doing that is I wanted the accountability, and I wanted an hour a week with this guy, and it's hard to get it. You know, and if anybody listened, that was great. That was awesome. That was a bonus. But it was very greedy of me to start. And what I'm finding, though, what I didn't anticipate, what I'm finding is every single week with this joker, I get a new conviction. And my heart is so soft right now that if I don't address that, it drives me insane. Like I still sin, but I hate sin.
Amen.
I hate it with a passion, and I hate myself when I sin. And I like this prayer thing is driving me insane because I'll do that at night. I'll be like, okay, I'm laying down, I'm gonna pray. Next thing I know, I'm waking up and it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I don't even know if I got 2 sentences in. No problem. You know what I mean? Like it's so I will definitely I'm gonna take your 3 R's.
In Luke 11:1, when the disciples come to Jesus and they say, Lord, would you teach us to pray? Like John the Baptist is teaching his guys to pray. Will you teach us to pray? And he's like, all right, boys, here's how you do it. Ready? And he starts with this. If you get this part, you'll get it all. Our Father. So that's it. So think about any good relationship, like my relationship with Gretchen. Sometimes we go on extended vacations together, no kids, just me and her, long times together. You should have those in your walk with the Lord. You know what I mean? Like long times in your week where you're just focused on him. Church is a pretty good one. You sing Jesus songs, you hear a Jesus sermon, you're reading out of his Bible, you're with his people, right?
Yep.
Also, if you were to look at my phone, there's about 100 little texts all the time between me and Gretchen. Little short, like, now if all we had was a little text, it would never sustain us.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But if the only time we ever hung out was every week at date night, that wouldn't be good either. Your prayer life should kind of look like that. There needs to be some big chunks in it. There needs to be some daily time. And then there's about 1 million little like, Lord, I need your help. Lord, this person just came to mind. God, would you meet whatever need there? Just real quick. And it's not either or. It's just reflective of any good relationship. And the more you do it, the more you want to do it.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Well, and I think
you play
just
like
enough to get that. I think I'm doing it just enough to where I know I need more.
Yeah.
I've mentioned this the last like 3 episodes we've done, where it's like what aggravates me is I can feel really, really, really close to God, and I want to sustain that, right? But but sin takes me away from that, and that's my fault, not his. It's me taking myself away from the presence of God, not God taking himself away from me.
But the fact that you feel like that is great.
Amen.
That's a great thing.
Right, but
That's
then I got to have a
thing.
solution to that. And what after a ton of thinking of this, that's what this is. That's what this prayer thing is, I believe. It's like I'm not spending enough intentional time with God.
Yeah,
right now.
And what you get out of prayer is you get him.
Yes.
I mean, there's all kind of circumstances going on, but actually what we don't need is a change in circumstances, even though we would greatly want all kinds of circumstances to change. All 3 of us have those situations in our life. But ultimately what we need is him. And in John 15, Jesus says, come here, man, come here. Draw near to me and I will draw near to you. That's James 4:8. In John 15, he's like, abide, stay close to me and I will stay close to you. Mm-hmm. And what you don't want, listen, Pollack, you know this, you play like you practice, right? So if you loafed in practice and loafed in practice and loafed in practice, when they go trips with an offset back, you don't get the interception. You just don't, because you can't be where you know you need to be because you've never done it before. There is coming a day in all of our lives, and we've been there before, where we need our prayer life to be ready to roll. And you don't want
another thing too.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I cut you off. My bad.
No, you
Danny,
go ahead.
another thing with that too is like who you surround yourself with will go a long way in determining that as well.
Yeah.
Like if you surround yourself with people, and that's why you feel good when you're around this fella, like, right? Because he's going to be telling you scripture over and over, and he's going to hold you accountable. Like if we go hang out with people that have bad marriages, that aren't great dads, what do you expect?
No.
What do you expect? Like you are going to become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So spending time with godly brothers that are going to call you to the carpet, man. Like, and not everybody likes that. And not everybody feels a certain kind of way. My wife came home from Bible study a couple of years ago. It was one of the funniest moments in our marriage. And she's laughing. She's cackling. She's quiet as can be. And she's just cackling. And she's trying to tell me something. And I'm like, what, David? Like, what is it? And she was like, we did this thing at Bible study today. And she said, we talked about peacemakers versus peace fakers. And she said, you're one of the most confrontational people I know, but you're a biblical peacemaker. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, the definition of a biblical peacemaker is someone who says things to bring peace to someone's life. Like, I don't say things to be a jerk. I say things because I really want my friends to grow. And like, if my buddy talks to his wife a certain way, like, I'm going to go talk to him. Like, we're going to have a conversation, like, not with her. Like, I'm not going to embarrass him, but like, I just want to be like, hey man, that's the most important person in your world. And you talk to her like that. Like, and so she started laughing, and she was like, and she's the most non-confrontational person in the world. And she was like, I'm a peace faker, because she was like, I tell people what they want to hear. Like, man, surround yourself with a bunch of peacemakers, a bunch of dudes that, like, you're holding them accountable. They're holding you accountable for your walk, like your daily walk, how you talk, how you approach people, like all of those things, man. And you start to take off and you start to feel good about it. And you got that built-in accountability, man, that you're sitting there and you know is right beside you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. We've got a lot. You and I actually have a lot in common. I want to get to that in just a little bit, but let's stay on the football for just a second here. First round pick, Cincinnati, right? And
you too?
No.
You said we had a lot in common. I didn't know.
No, not that. Trust me. Athletically, we have nothing in common. 17 overall. Second game of your second season, you suffer a serious injury. Was it fracture C6?
C6, C7, yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you kind of just walk us through that time of your life? Because at that point, you are a Christian, right? At that point, but you're young, right? And your dreams are right there in front of you. Just kind of walk us through as deep as you want to get into what your thought process was, knowing that this may be it.
So I dreamed since I was 4 years old to play in the NFL, and I got so many of those little pats on the head, like, oh, it's so cute, right? Like, and I was forged by that. Like, if you tell me I can't do something, like, I'm going to show you. And so, like, that was my main goal and my main passion. And so accomplishing it was awesome, but obviously I wanted to be there and be very successful. So that hit that day, September 17th. I'll never forget that going to the X-ray, going to the stadium, the X-ray, and they tell you C6, C7. I was like, that's not too bad, right? I'll be back in a couple of weeks. They're like, no, that means you broke your neck. I was like, ooh, that sounds a lot worse than a fracture. But I remember getting in the ambulance with my baby doll, and I just remember, like, we're both crying. And you just kind of know, man, like, this could be the last time that I put a uniform on. And this is something that I've, worked towards my whole life. And so I think the interesting thing was the world got quiet. Like, the people around me didn't hear from as much. I'm in a halo brace for 4 months. I'm in a neck brace for 4 months, surgery, neck brace for 6 months. It was a long rehab, but the friends around you, that you don't hear from them as much. And I think you really just start to kind of learn, like, all right, who's in my life for the right reasons? But the amazing transformation that God used was, like, you talk about that moment and that time period. You go from benching 455 and being strong, like, which, by the way, isn't strong in a real locker room. Like, that's not even the top, like, 30 at Georgia when I was there. But, like, because superhuman mutants, like, throw up like 580 in a bar and bench it for real. But, like, you talk about being strong. The day I got released to lift, I benched 135 twice. And it was like this. My first day out of my neck brace, my baby doll made me some spaghetti. And I'm not kidding, guys. I leaned over to eat it, and my face went right in the plate. And I had to pick my head up off the table and lift it back up. Like, so I was a cocky, arrogant. I had Jesus, yes, 100%. But the stuff that you go through in life that makes you who you are, like, I think you go through things because you go through these things, and it's the only way God could reach you, right? It's the only way he could teach you certain things that you needed to teach and you needed to learn and you needed to go through. And so, like, man, I became a better father, and I wasn't even a father yet. I became a better husband. I became a better son. Like, everything about my life and the quality of my life grew. And that's the thing. Like, we've all got scars, and now I got one right here on my neck that's a zipper, right? Some of us have scars you can see. Some of us don't have scars that you can see, but we all got them. But those scars, man, they really make up who we are. And they a lot of times those scars do one of two things, right? We run to God or away from God. And we would always encourage you to run to God. And it forced me to run to God. It forced me to forge my relationship, because it was the be still moment, right? Like, so much stillness, so much quiet, so much lack of noise, lack of practice, lack of weights, like all of the things that were tied into my identity, I couldn't do anymore. Like, literally couldn't do. And so now it's like, what are you going to do? And it was just, it was a great experience, man. Like, the experience of learning and growing up as an adult, like, to get that at 22, man, I'm so thankful, because it saved me so much down the road of heartache of parenting and all the stuff, because God grew me leaps and bounds. And now I have so much more compassion and empathy and sympathy. And it just made me better in every aspect.
I love that he just said having a broken neck was such a great experience. Like, that's crazy. That's a crazy thing to hear somebody say, but I know exactly what you mean. I've never broken my neck, but I know what you mean when you say that. Like, I saw that you said in an interview and you kind of just said this now, it slowed you down and allowed you to reflect, reprioritize, and see who was truly in your life. Is that you? I mean, we talk about the built for more moment of when it can go one way or the other. Is that it for you? Is that one? Because we've seen a lot of athletes have that same thing, and they go the other way with it. And they're good guys. Like, I've known several of them, good dudes, good guys who claim to be Christians, and I think mean that. And then they have that significant injury, or they get released, or something along that line, and their identity is gone, and they go completely the other way. When you look back at your life, was that kind of the moment where the decision that you made almost gave you David Pollack 2.0?
100%. I mean, that was definitely my fiery furnace moment. Like, that was the moment where, like, what are you going to do? And again, it was a Christian as a senior in high school, went to college, like, and I was speaking to FCAs, and I was sharing my faith, and I was vocal about it. Like, okay, big fella, you just got thrown in the deep end. You go sink or you go swim, right? Like, and so I think it's just awesome. Like, I don't think you truly know, like, how great your faith is or how great your faith can be until it's tested, right? Like, until it's been now borderline, like, okay, here is a crisis that you don't control. Here is a crisis that you can't manipulate, that you can't make happen, that you can't overcome. There's only one way to get through this. Like, and again, there's another way. You could drink, you could get depressed, you could go that route if you want to, or you can go to the living God that says, "Come on in, bro. I got you.
Yeah,
like, I got you right here."
My friend Pastor Jim Bergen says, talking about some of the things he's gone through in his life, he said, "I wouldn't wish that on anybody, and if I was writing my own script, there's no way I'd put any of that in it. Broken neck, whatever it is. We've all got those things."
Yep.
But then he says, "But if I had to go through that to get to here, to serve the God I serve, to be married to who I'm married to have the kids I have, and for me to get the pastor of this place, then I would not change one thing if that's what God needed to take me through to prepare me to be in the place that I am right now."
Yes.
I love that.
I do too.
So I said that, but he said it way better. I mean, that's way better.
Zero sacks.
You got more football questions? Because, like, we're getting into, like, all this. I don't want to rob you.
I've got 10,000 football questions. I mean, so when did you realize you belonged at Georgia? Because it's one thing to be a good high school player, right? And then one day you're standing out there and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I am between the hedges."
I can tell you when I realized I didn't.
Tell me.
I can tell you, my freshman year, we go to Tennessee. And so I came in as a fullback. Everybody got hurt in camp at defensive tackle. So they threw me at defensive tackle. So I played defensive tackle as a freshman. We go to Neyland Stadium. This is the Hobnail boot game.
Oh, really?
And I'm playing defensive tackle against Tennessee. And I look over on the other side, and it's 6'8" John Henderson, 315, 6'6", 320 Albert Hainsworth. And I'm like, one of these are not like the other, like I'm not really sure I belong, but like my whole freshman year, I moved from fullback to defensive tackle. And then in the spring, everybody left. We had 4 guys go to the draft at Georgia. All those guys left and went and got picked. And so the qualifications to play defensive end in spring was breathing. Like I was breathing. So they were like, all right, go play defensive end. And here's who you get to go against. John Stinchcomb and George Foster, a first-round pick and the 32nd pick, the first pick in the second round. Like, you talk about getting your booty whipped every day. Like, I got destroyed every day in spring ball.
So how did you get so good? I mean, honestly, how did you go from they've moved you around to 3 positions you typically don't take, like, oh, we recruited him to play here, now he's on his 3rd position, and you literally were the best. So what happened? I mean, your motor was unbelievable. I remember 20 years ago when I was a youth pastor, if you played David Pollack on the NCAA football game, unstoppable. Your video games person.
It was fun. I was a 99. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
David just played it last night.
I would. If I had a video game with me on it, preaching.
I love video games. But
so what happened? I mean, come on.
Okay, so here's what happened. So my greatest strength as a football player is my competitiveness. 100%. It's my greatest strength. It's my greatest strength probably, and the reason that I've been successful in my life. My greatest weakness in my life is my competitiveness a lot of times. Yeah. Like, it's led to anger and outbursts and saying things that I wish I didn't say. When I say I'm maniacal, like, I'm maniacal. So I'm going to give you an example. I played defensive end. On the right side of defensive end, I was a good pass rusher because I'm right-handed. So when I rush the passer, I can catch the outside hand. If you catch the outside hand, the tackle's done. Like, beat that outside hand, and now you can get the edge. I was done. Left side, I sucked, and it pissed me off. Like, something awful. Like, I would go, and I kept missing. You know what I did? For 6 months straight, every time I bent over to pick something up, it was with my left hand. Every time I brushed my teeth, it was with my left hand. Every time I went number 2, I did it with my left hand, and that was the hardest one by far. Like, I mean, I went to the pads and I missed so much with my hands because there's here's what I've learned over the years. And this is, I just recently wrote a book and it will come out next year. And it's kind of taking this stuff of how I've looked at life and how I've been successful. I don't do the wide picture, Pastor. I can't do wide. So when I got there and they said, get off, pad level, hands, all this stuff, I'm like, okay, that's too much for me. I can't handle all that, but I can handle get off. So I remember, like, I was like, all right, I got to master my first step short, getting off the football. I remember talking to our GA. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing the other stuff. Like, I'm not there yet. And I mastered that. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna get my pad level. Then I got my pad level. Then I got my hands. Now it's like, okay, now we got something. Now we start winning at a high level. So I think it was the ability to zoom out and zoom in, right? Like, big picture goals being great, but now zoom into the fine details. Like, what can I do today? And I love practice. Like, I just loved it. Like, I have a bunch of buddies that always whine and complain. We got 28 periods. We got this. I literally would be like, what else do you have to do today? Like, well, you want to go to class? No. Like, at Georgia, we don't drop passes. We drop classes. What are you talking about? Like, what? No, we don't want to go to class. Like, yeah, I mean, so, like, I think that's how, Joby. Like, it was consistent work, but like the small things and being able to be, try to be great in that one day, in that one moment, and then I'd worry about the next thing, and then I'd worry about the next thing. But I just didn't. I don't have the capacity. It's very much like a sermon, man. Like, when you give me a sermon and you're starting to tell me what a man looks like and what they do, I'm like, all right, number 1, write it down. Like, what's the takeaway? Like, I need immediate takeaways to go win. I need a daily, application to go win. I don't have the capacity to get all the knowledge without, like, having one little thing to check whether I win or whether I lose.
Do you have a greatest Georgia memory?
Yeah, beating South Carolina in the SEC championship game. And I know that sounds crazy, but dude, we ain't done it in 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, it had been a long time since we had been in that position. So to be an SEC champion and to bring some of that history and that toughness, that championship caliber team back, man, that was kind of the groundwork before now, what Kirby and them are.
So do you think it's crazy that we just won this? We are the current reigning SEC champions and everybody feels like it was a bad year?
Everybody's pissed, right? Like Georgia sucks. Georgia's terrible. Like SEC champs. Yeah. I mean, it's a different world. Like
what happened?
It's like rich people problems, right? Like it's just a different problem, right? Like you got those.
Right. We've lost one game to Alabama by 3, and you would think we're terrible.
The sky is falling. And listen, when we got a championship, like every pressure that I had in my life with football and watching Georgia football,
right,
it was gone.
Right.
Like everybody said the next year, how are we going to be? I was like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. If we win 6 games, they're like, you don't want to be great every year. No, I do. But this will tide over for at least 5 years.
Yeah. I used to say the same thing. I was like, come on, let us be like Auburn. Just give us that one good Cam Newton year, and I'll shut up.
Take it. Hey, Stetson Bennett, very similar. Same stature.
Bro, okay.
Same guy.
Here's a question. Why is there not a statue of Stetson out there? How come? I mean, he wins a natty one year. And then literally, and I know Carson's behind him, but literally the next year, people are like, really? We're going to take our national championship quarterback again? Can we get another one? I'm like, are you people crazy? What? I mean, help me understand, bro. You're as inside as it gets.
Because of the story, man. It's just like right now in college football. Like I'm doing a show last night on my show, and it's me and Stanford Steve from College Game Day. And we're talking about the best team in the country, and we're talking about Indiana, and nobody wants to hear it because it's not traditional. It's not the norm, right? Like it doesn't look the same. So Stetson didn't look the part. He was given away. He was a walk-on. Like shouldn't have been there. That's exactly why. Like you can't get behind a 5-star kid. Somehow we just rally behind, and that's the guy who needs to be there. But Stetson being the ultimate David versus Goliath, right? Like just the same reason David's dad didn't send him, right? Like everybody else, everybody, hey, everybody else in the family, come look here's my family. No, the one's not here. This is it. Like, no, are you sure there's not another one? Oh, well, there's a little rinky-dink scrawny sucker in the back there herding sheep. You want him? Like, it's the same type of a deal, man.
Winning.
But the thing about Stetson, though,
he can sling it.
Yes, he is such an elite athlete. I remember seeing him at the combine. And like, dude's barely stretching, and he's running 4.6, and he's spinning this tar out of the ball. Like, I'm like, this dude is legit.
He might not be the best interview.
No, he's not.
He'd be like, oh, it was so bad.
Yeah, the morning after interview was.
They have it all.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, what do we need to do right now? Middle of the season. What does Georgia need to do? Because I heard you talking smack that we could go 8-4, and I see what you're coming from. I mean, I get it. But help me understand. What do we need to do?
Well, and we talked about on the show, it was like more likely to go 10-2 or 8-4. And I said 8-4, and I agree with that. Now, listen, you escape Tennessee, you escape Auburn, and that's what we do. Like, you know what I want to be, Joby? I would love to not be Rocky Balboa. I don't want to taste blood before I start moving forward. Like, it's a heck of an idea to start fast. Like, I know we're Jason and Michael Myers, and we don't die.
Right.
Like, we don't die. I get it. Like, we're always there in the end. But I think just they got to figure out the starting fast. I think the offense is starting to figure out who they are. I think defensively, we've got so many young guys, and you see so much. We do so much, man. They expect these kids to be machines up here, like to be able to compute and to get in the best defense possible. And one of the things that I've seen in the second halves, we're scrapping some of that. And it's like, all right, really, just line up and play the defenses you played in camp and just be good at it, right? Like, and so I think Ole Miss is a good matchup for Georgia because I think Ole Miss's offense is very similar to what you saw last week. Like you saw Auburn with a running quarterback, similar type system, which I think very much helps, and being at home helps. So I like Georgia this week.
So all right, I got two more. Two more, like just straight football questions. Why does it seem to me, dude, I don't know anything, okay, which you know what I remind me of as a college football fan? I mean, I watch every game probably 6 times, and then I have all kind of opinions. It reminds me of all the emails I get of the people that come to church about twice a month and then tell me all the things I need to do. I'm like, that's adorable. But
hey, you need to just text me. Just text me your questions.
I got your
number.
Fire
away,
now,
bro.
I'm going to. why do we give up so many first drive touchdowns? Like, what are we doing? It seems like, I mean, Auburn just runs the ball down. All I could think is Georgia Tech's going to be a problem because they do that, but better. That makes me nervous. And then we adjust, and they don't score another touchdown. I'm like, well, okay, what happens there? That's one. Oh, answer that one first. What are we doing? How does that happen so often?
It shows you that we're a great coach team. That's what it shows you. But I think it's just what I just said. I think we try to do too much early.
Okay.
Like I think coming out, get your cleats in the ground. And listen, this is a problem going back to last year. Dude, Joe, we've only led one game, and it was Kentucky at half versus a Power 4 team since Texas a year ago, at Texas in the regular season.
Wow. That's a wild stat. That's
wild. A wild stat.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're like 9-3 in those games is absolutely wilder. Like that we just continue to find a way to win. But I think that it starts to get a little bit mental, but I think they just got to simplify. If I'm Kirby, I'm taking the toss. I'm taking the ball. Like, give me the ball so I can go score first and maybe get a lead, like, and not defer. But I don't know. If Kirby knew what it was, he'd fix it too. I mean, I don't know. I think the only answer I can give you is that we simplify and take the football, because I don't know how they fix this. It's just crazy.
All right, when you were playing, I swear nobody could get around the edge on us. It seems like in the last 3 years, we just cannot set an edge. Like, that's why teams like Florida make me nervous, you know, especially living here.
Yeah.
Like, they could just run off tackle, run a little misdirection off the and what is that, man? How do we not just set that edge like we used to? That used to be our thing, right?
Yeah. We ran a 4 down back in the day, and we run more 3 down now. And Georgia's players have been so good in the past that it didn't matter if you knew what you were doing, you still won. You still got to block Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
You still got to block Jordan Davis, and it doesn't matter. You lose, right? And I think Nolan Smith on the end, like, we can just go. I can keep going down the list of everybody that's in the NFL.
I mean, you just named 2 guys that run 4.4.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
and Joby is the third. So when you look at that, we're not as talented as we used to be. And I think we've got to be okay with being a little bit different, because if you watch the edge player for Georgia, every single time he's going to squeeze, he's going to spill. He's going to bounce the ball outside. They don't want the ball going north-south. They want it going east-west. And, okay, now the ball gets outside, it gets going east-west. Well, when I know that, I can use it against you,
right?
A la Georgia Tech.
But we didn't have Randy Curran to chase them down every time. Although C.J. Allen seems like...
C.J. Allen's a man-child.
No doubt.
That dude's a grown-up. Like, he's Roquan to me. I mean, he's got sideline to sideline, instinctual, smart, and like elite level kid. Yeah. Like, leadership. What's inside of here is everything you want in a leader on your football team. So, but I think that we have to be a little bit more. We have to be a little different and change things up a little bit, because you just got a lot of young guys playing, and young guys, they grow up at a different pace, right? Like, it's just going to take a little bit of time, but I do think they'll get better throughout the season.
I think that simplification answer makes a lot of sense, because the one thing about Georgia, there's 2 things. One, they're elite at developing talent. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think probably the best in the country. That's a lost art largely in college sports, all college sports right now, that Kirby has done an amazing job to. But the second thing is, man, those guys come out of there, they know ball. And they know ball differently than just about any other college. Offensively, defensively, they are taught so much about football that they come out with a dang near NFL education at it.
That's what the GM for the Eagles said. The GM at the Eagles just said, all things being equal, I'm drafting Georgia and Alabama. And if I just fill up my team with them, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, you'd be surprised, though. You would be surprised, and Dave, you can back me up on this if you want to. You'd be surprised how many college-level players you talk to that don't know ball.
They're just that good?
They're just good. They're good football players, but if you sit them down and you ask them to explain fairly basic things, they can't do that. They've never even heard that.
You see that at combines all the time.
All the time.
You'll see that all the time. You'll see guys go on the board, and you're like,
never.
What?
Yep, they've never heard it before. Yep, until they started draft prep.
Yes, that definitely helps. For sure.
But Georgia's not that way, is it? Georgia, I think across the board, man, those guys, and maybe it's too much so, to his point. Maybe it's overly complicated, but from a developmental model, it's unparalleled.
Okay, how does Kirby get so much out of Athens, Georgia? I mean, I love Coach Richt so much. I mean, a big part of the reason, the way I became a dog, I grew up in South Carolina, but we hunted and fished all the time, so we didn't. mostly like Clemson, and then every once in a while South Carolina be okay. We kind of follow them. Anyway, I go to Georgia to do ministry, and from 2000 2003, Coach Richt and I would speak a couple of things together, and he would give us sideline passes, me and Gretchen, for every game. So
that's awesome.
He was like, I can't get you a seat. Those are kind of hard to get, but I can give you these passes. You can go anywhere you want. So literally,
I don't want a seat anyways. I'd rather be standing there, Coach.
So in 02, while you were playing, those random people down in the corner, that was me and my wife. So it got all over us. She was a student. Anyway, that's how I became a fan. But it's the same city. It's the same university. It's the same. And then Kirby Smart moves in, and it is not the same. Talk to me. What does he do? Like, how does he get this?
He's a psycho. And I mean that lovingly. Like that's a great term. Like Kirby doesn't have the ability to chill. Kirby's wired different. For example, wasn't too long ago he took a day off. First day off in a long time. He made it till 12 o'clock. And he was like, I'm a football coach. Like I can't do this. Like back to work. I mean, he's just wired different. Coach Richt was not wired like that. Coach Richt was wired to be a family man and to be chill and to get some downtime. Kirby's, man, he is one-track mind. He's one of the most competitive humans. He'll come over and play basketball, and he played basketball a lot during the pandemic. And I swear to goodness, he's coaching my friends. Get up, get on the pick. I mean, he wants to win pickup basketball. Like he wants to win at everything. Like, so he's just an elite level competitor. And I think he's grown as he's gotten old. And let me tell you something, bro. That dude's finding Jesus too now. I mean, he's starting to find his walk. And is he perfect with his language? No. Neither is everybody else. Okay. Like we all got things we got to work on. But like, if you go back and listen to Dev's service when he died and they played that, like he presented as clear as you can get presentation of the gospel.
Yeah.
And so I think he's growing in his faith and he's growing into this position, right? Like he's continued to work and grow, but he's maniacal and he's competitive and he's tough and he loves the process. He loves the fiery furnace. He loves the development. He loves the dirty, the grimy. Like he wants to get in there and he wants to work. Like that's just what he loves. And so he's built for that, man, which is not normal. Like I'm just telling you, if you sit in a special teams meeting, the sucker's sitting in the front row and he's answering questions. Special teams. Like it's just, it's not like that everywhere. Right. A lot of times head coaches don't even know what the offense is running, don't even know what the special team's running. Kirby knows all of that. Like he's standing there, hey, so-and-so's off the ball, get on the ball. It's a penalty. I mean, all of it. It's an incredible sense of to be able to take it all in and to be able to do what he does.
I don't know nearly as much as David does, but I've been there enough to know that those practices in Athens are much different than everywhere else I go to practices at. I mean, that dude, I don't know how he has a voice at the end of every practice. It is nonstop. It's impressive. It's impressive.
People getting bodied the whole practice too.
I will tell you too, I love it though. But after a game, he's going to kiss his wife and hug his kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and you can tell that ain't fake. They are not window dressing to the head football coach. They are,
especially Boogie. Boogie's always up there. Boogie loves ball, and he's a little baller too. He's a good player.
That's good.
So can I move on a little bit?
Yeah, sure. David texted me the other day, so I can call him now.
We can come back to it.
All the questions I want.
So this is where I've been excited ever since. I think Pat Young is the one that hooked us all up initially. Patrick Young.
Yeah.
I've been excited ever since then because I've thought about you a lot this year, man. We've never met, but I've thought about you a lot because of the situation with your wife, Lindsay. My wife has had cancer 3 times in the last 10 years. And last year was she had breast cancer initially, and then she had tongue cancer, which her brother also had. So just a weird set of circumstances. Last year was the last time that she had, and it was pretty serious. She went through a lot. So when I saw that Lindsay it was brain cancer, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that what it was? And then the post that you had of her both hands up, praising Jesus after the surgery, singing to a worship song. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, man, like instantly you were on my mind. Just because I was still fresh with me, man. And I've thought about you, and I want to get to her, but I want to ask you, like, how are you? Because I know what that feels like to see and to look and to care for. How are you doing with all this?
Well, how is your wife?
She's good now. She's great now.
She's good?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Great. I'm I've learned a lot. Like I've really learned a lot. Like, my neck was a different deal because it's me, and that's just, I don't know what it is, but it was just so much easier. But like when it's your baby doll and I can't do anything, I can't fix it. It sucks, and it's just not fun. But it's been interesting to watch because, it's developed, and the way it's developed, because my wife's a control freak, a planner, and she gets everything done. And she looked at me a couple of weeks after surgery and she was like, "Hey, I'm going to need you to do everything." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And we've never done that. And she's like, "I don't want to do any of the planning. I don't want to do any of the talk." I'm like, "But am I going to get in trouble?" Because I know how this works. I'm not getting manipulated into this. But her personality has changed. But no, I mean, you're going to ask more about her, so I'm going to leave that there. But like, I think that it's been humbling. It's been hard. And God has shown me like, hey, like she's mine before she's yours.
Yep.
She's mine before she's yours. And stop wrestling, stop fighting. I got this. Like I've got this. I've got her. And so I think that's been with scripture plastered everywhere and walking around and just living in the moment and trying to be present and try to continue to realize that.
Yeah, you mentioned the quote that I forget who you said, your pastor friend had about everything you've been through, all the scars brought you to where you are. I say all the time, like, there's some unique benefits to your wife getting cancer. You have a lot of time together where you fill a role that most men traditionally don't fill.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, you get to have some real conversations, man. Like, not many husbands and wives, I don't think, unless they are presented with something like that, feel the need to communicate truly what that person means to them until you go through that. And that's been our marriage changed. It didn't, I didn't love her more. She didn't love me more, but she became my hero very quickly when I saw how she dealt with everything and the grace that she dealt with it. And I never, ever would have called her my hero before that, but she stands alone as my hero now. Jeez. And the conversations that we got to have and just the closeness because for me, she had a full neck dissection as her second surgery. And so I was literally like cleaning out the line. I've shaved her head, right? I've done things like that. That's intimacy, bro. That's intimacy. And that, you want to talk, that there's nothing in my life, Joby, you included, that has brought me closer to God than that woman in her time and the way she used that. And so when I saw your wife with her hands up praising Jesus, man, you instantly went into my head, and you've not come out. And it's such a God thing that we're talking right now, because I've wanted to tell you this forever. And if you ever need anything from me, I'm going to use one of Joby's lines. I don't need a thing from you, man. But if you ever need anything from me, please do not hesitate, because I've been there and I know the fear. And we talked about praying a second ago. And one of the things that I struggle with about praying is the Bible says to ask and it will be given, and to have faith. And I find myself, frequently in tears asking the same thing. God, let this be done. Heal her. Let this be done. And in a way, it feels disobedient, because it's like I've already asked him, right? He already knows my heart. But I find myself doing that every single day, right? And so I just thank you for posting that. I think it changed a lot of people, man. And I read a cool story, and you can confirm if this is true. She could not lift her left arm yet until she heard that song, and then both hands went up. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, this one's going to get me. And I echo exactly what you said. It's been interesting to watch, but so my baby doll's favorite song is "Goodness of God." And so that's our anthem. And so she's had 7 hours of surgery, and she can't open her eyes yet. She can't use her left hand. And so there's not a lot of responsiveness. There's not a lot of anything going on. But very rarely, man, do you really get to see the spirit and how a spirit responds. And I don't share things on social media. I don't share pictures. I don't share videos of my kids and my wife. I just don't. I've always separated the two in my head. But I was like, that was the Spirit of God. Like, because her body knew what to do. Her body lifted her hands up, both hands, and praised. Like, her spirit knew what to do. That's what we're all going to do one day. Like, we're all going to sit there and we're going to praise. And for the next 2 days, she can't lift that hand. The doctors come in. They come in repeatedly. Hey, Lindsay, can you lift your hands? Can you lift your hands? Her right one went right up. Her left one wouldn't come up. In the video, her left hand is all the way up in the air. And so, like, it was awesome to see. And then you just watch her. And, this verse keeps coming back and coming back and coming back, because I've read the Bible for so many years now. And this is what I love about the Bible. It's living, breathing, right? It doesn't change, but we're changing. So it changes to us. Right. And what it means to us at different times is so different. So you look in Mark 15:21. And I like to do for everybody who wants to memorize verses, again, I like cheat codes. So I do like Mark, Tim Tebow, Deion Sanders. Like, that's the way I remember things. But so Mark 15:21, it says, a man named Simon of Cyrene. And it talks about Alexander and Rufus. His 2 kids are there. And it says he's basically walking by. So think about walking by, and it says he's forced to carry the cross. That's it. That's the verse. That's the extent of the verse. Read that verse hundreds of times. Doesn't mean anything to me. Might not mean anything to anybody out there. But let me tell you something. So here's what it means to me now. And here's what my family is. Like, we've been forced to carry a cross that we didn't earn, that we didn't deserve, that we don't want. We don't want it. Like, we don't want the cross. We don't want cancer. We don't want brain surgery. We have no desire to have that. But let me show you how God works. Man, how amazing. He says Alexander and Rufus is there. First of all, I wouldn't have used Rufus. Come on, we couldn't think of a better name. But anyways, Alexander and Rufus are there. Why is that mentioned? Why is that important? Because his kids were watching. His kids were watching how he was carrying the cross. My kids are watching me. My kids are watching how I carry the cross. Like, guess what else? There's been a lot of times, man, and this, I'm not ashamed to admit this. It makes me tear up, but like, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of times I couldn't carry the cross. I wasn't strong enough, man. Like, I've tried at the house, and we've done everything, man. Like, and for a while I had to do everything. For a while, it was, the feeling, like, you just got to do a lot, and you're trying to get it all done. Well, here's what happened, man. Our community, man, they came and picked up the cross. I mean, dude, like, coming in and grocery shopping, coming in and doing our laundry, cleaning our house. Like, it's amazing. Like, it was absolutely amazing that they would come in and help us. So it's been insane. It's been so awesome. It's breath that's been breathed into our lives. But guess what? In the very end of it, we're all going to be forced, and we're all going to have to carry crosses. But in the end, when he picks up that cross, what was on it? The blood of Jesus. Because Jesus couldn't carry that cross anymore, right? The blood of Jesus is with us in every single thing we do. And that's what continues to show up. That's what we continue to see, man. Like, every single thing that's hard, like every single wilderness turns into something fruitful. Yeah. Right? Like, every single turn, something's hard, and we learn something and we grow. And it's been amazing to watch Nicholas and Leah, my babies. They had to carry the cross. Like, I have to take Nicholas somewhere. Nicholas will call me and be like, Mama said she don't want her medicine. I was like, buddy, that's not an answer. That's not an option. Like, she has to take her medicine. He was like, well, what do you want me to do? I was like, buddy, you got to kind of step up and say, you've got to take your medicine. Right. And so, we've been learning and growing, but man, just to be surrounded by a community and loved ones, and for them to jump in and help us. And my advice for anybody, and I think you'd support this, my advice for anybody that goes through anything like this, or has friends that has people around them, when you have people around you, don't ask. Don't ask what to do. Because honestly, when people ask me all the time, because there was a 7-week period we didn't leave the house, and I just survived. Like, right, just whatever it takes to do. Like, we ate breakfast at 2 a.m. because that was her schedule. We took baths at 3 or 4 a.m. Like, we just did whatever we could to survive and get by. But I don't know the answer to what that is. Yeah. But man, when people just did for us, like, just go do for folks, man. Like, whatever it looks like. It doesn't have to be the biggest gesture. Hey, I'm going to the store. You want me to pick you up something? I'm already here. Like, I'm here right now. Like, I'm ordering some food. You want something? Like, my buddy David Green called me. Hey, I got some people coming over to do a laundry service for you. Right? Like, just go do, man. Like, when you see people in those situations, instead of asking because they don't know the answers, man. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I'm strong enough to carry it. I'm thankful that I've got a God that's with me that can help me carry it, and that we get to carry this, because we're seeing a lot of great things in our life come out of it.
Yeah, that's such a good perspective too, because I think that's the thing that hit me is I'm not strong enough to do this. This is God. 100%. This is all God. The first time she had cancer, it saved our marriage. She had told me she was leaving. This was 2015. She felt a lump on her breast the next day, and it literally saved our marriage. All the time we had to spend together saved our marriage. And then the last time completely changed us as human beings. Not her, me. She, just judging by what little I've seen of your wife on that video, her and my wife would get along really well. Just sweet, praise Jesus in any circumstance. But the thing that it did for me and to me is, I hate to say it because I'm not the one that went through it, but I wouldn't give it back for anything. I really truly wouldn't. Now I'm still learning to deal with the aftermath, the fear.
Yeah.
Right. But excuse me. As far as being where I'm at right now, no, I wouldn't change a thing. Not a thing.
David, I appreciate you saying that, man. I'm all choked up over here too. I got a friend right now. They're going through the worst nightmare as parents ever. I got the call about an hour and a half ago. And you know, our reaction is like, what do we do? What do we do? As soon as we get done here, I'm just going to go do all the things. I'm just going to send the groceries, send the laundry service. They live on the other side of the country. That's a good word for people listening.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to wait. Just do whatever you can think of. And then secondly, I want to say this for both of you guys. I think a lot of people look at me as like the varsity level 5-star All-American Christian, because I preach and I pastor a large church and I know a lot of Bible verses and
You're good.
Well,
you're really good.
Let me tell you what varsity level Jesus following is loving your wife like Christ loved the church. And so, Denny, you don't give yourself nearly enough credit because whatever. Okay, so maybe you're not a great prayer yet, but you know what you are? You're a great husband.
Yeah.
You know? And Pollack, maybe, there was some talk show that was too dumb to keep you on there because you were the best, by the way, especially when you kind of accidentally called out Saban. That was one of the greatest highlights of all time. But, bro, varsity level Jesus following. Because you know how easy it is, honestly, to stand up at FCA and talk to a bunch of high school kids about Jesus. It's not hard. It really is not hard, especially if you got the wiring and energy like you do. But you know what is hard is to do all of those things, to love and serve your wife when in these moments, like you're not getting much back, right? But that's not it. What does Jesus get from us? And yet he's willing to lay down his life. The people listening to this, I think a lot of guys listen to this because they want to hear the story about your interception in South Carolina, and they want to hear the behind the scenes of what your life is like. But the takeaway here, man, is varsity level Christianity is treating people, especially those that we're married to, especially those that we live in the house with, the way he has treated us, and he poured out all of himself for us. So as the only professional Christian here to the two like amateurs, well done, boys. Well done. You have set for us a good example. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
How is Lindsay doing now?
She's doing great. She's it's unbelievable. She said a couple of things along the way that you just like, okay, all right, that's it. Like she said to me, she goes, I'm just very thankful it was me. And I was like, why? And she said, because I know some of my friends, it would have broke them. Mm. And she was like, I think God chose me for a reason. Like, I think God knew I could handle it. I'm like, okay. And me, I'm like, I wish he didn't choose you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're like, I wish it wasn't you. But I think to watch her struggle well, to watch her, like my kids have always looked at me like, because I played football, kind of like a superhero. And now they look at mom like that.
Yep.
And I think that's the dopest thing in the history of the world, because she is, and I say this and I'm being serious. She's the only girlfriend I've ever had. And when I met her, my life changed. Like, I didn't know what love was. Like, I would have, my heart became softened because of her. And you become the person you spend the most time with. So you better choose wisely with your spouse.
Amen.
Like, right. And like, she's rubbed off on me, and just her chill and faithfulness. I've never met someone with a capacity for, and that's one thing. I was like, baby doll, how can I pray for you? How can I pray for you? How can I pray for you? And without hesitation, she was like, I'd like to get my capacity back. And I was like, and here's why she wants to get her capacity back. Because Lindsay is the one that has the journal that's 4 pages of handwriting every day. She's 4 pages every day. Her quiet time is unbelievable. But like, it took her in the beginning, it took her over 2 hours to do her quiet time every morning.
Yep.
And so like, she used to be able to do it in 30 minutes, but like, she takes so much pride in being the one that journals and prays for everybody. And she's like, I just feel like I can't be there. You know, I can't be there like I want to as a small group leader and our small group, the little girl's small group leader that she is. Little girls, they're 15 now. But so her capacity is coming back. We're on this oral medication that strangles the growth of cancer by like 30%. And her liver levels have taken it really, really well. Say liver levels 3 times fast. It's really hard to say. But she's doing great. She's been a rock star with it. And, not a tear, not one, not a single tear, not a moment of anger, not a moment of doubt. Like, she's been very, very steady, and it's been very inspiring. And, but you're right about the closeness, man. Like, there's nothing that can ever change that. Like, it just, you thought about something that you never would have thought about. Like, I never thought about my wife dying.
Yep.
Nor do you want to, right? Like, and to have that as something going, okay, this is serious. This is something that could take my baby doll. And so I think that part, when it comes in, I think you hold on to it a little bit tighter. You treat it a little bit better. And men out there, man, like, you don't know how much time you have with your wife, and your job is very clear to be the leader and to be the spiritual leader of your household, and to lead your woman and lead her well. And that means serving her. That means meeting her needs. That means showing up for her. And, don't wait for something to happen big, right? Like, don't wait for something hard to happen to take that challenge. There's a reason you got a deep voice, right? There's a reason you got big old muscles, right? Like, or bigger muscles than her. And so we got to use them, man. And we got to really be there for our family and lead our family and point them towards the gospel. And especially men that, like, we're going to make sure that our kid knows how to throw a ball. Get him in the Word of God.
Yep.
You ain't going to get him in the house of God.
Amen.
But you're going to make sure he can catch. You're going to make sure he can shoot. Like, come on now. Like, those cleats are going to hang up. Those shoes are going to hang up. And one day they are going to stand before Jesus. Like, every single one of us are. And so let's make sure we're giving the right stuff to them, man, and not always about the other stuff that we're chasing in this world.
That's so good. And that's what I meant earlier when we had things in common, because we both have rock star wives. Because my wife very similarly was not even, still had the tube in her neck, and she had been a teacher for 20 years, had been at home. We were comfortable. She was living a good life. Immediately enrolled to go get her master's at Liberty to be a Christian counselor. Like, right away. Like, you don't want to take like a couple weeks. Like, it was be understandable. No, I've been putting this off. I want to do it. And now she's almost done.
Yep.
She's almost done now. So
Liberty University, the greatest university on the planet right there, man.
Yeah, man.
That place is special.
Yeah. So I'm so glad to be able to tell you that you inspired me. You moved me. I haven't prayed as much as what I would like to for you, but I have prayed for you.
See, I appreciate that so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate when people say that, because I don't know about y'all. Like, Joey, I don't know about you either. Like, fathers, it doesn't bother me. I don't love when you have a group. I don't love group text messages either. Anyways, I usually leave them as fast as possible. But like when we throw the praying hands, or when we say praying for you, like, listen, I want to believe everybody does that, but like, my challenge to y'all and to everybody would be like, So now my thing is literally audio message, and I'm going to pray for you, and I'm going to send it to you.
Amen. That's
good.
Like, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to pray for you. I'm not going to show the praying hands. Like really take some time, man. When people are going through stuff like that, man, just take a little time, throw them a little prayer. It takes no time at all, and you can really do it, as opposed to like sometimes when we just throw those things up.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
That's great.
Pollack, I'm going to tell you, man, it's a cool deal to meet a guy that you've been a fan of for a long time, but he's a cooler dude in real life than even the jersey that I cheered for. So what an honor, bro. I look forward to getting to know you more too, man.
Thank you very much. No, hey, don't be afraid to text those football questions, man.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. You send them away, baby.
Yeah, you text me whatever questions you might have for me.
I might have some good ones. You never know, baby.
Come on, send them my way. Maybe not football. Well, I got opinions, so.
Hey, everybody got opinions on football. Everybody got opinions on football.
Hey, promote that podcast real quick, because I honestly, I didn't know about it till I started doing some research on it, and then went and listened to a couple episodes, and it's really, really good. The podcast you've got with your preacher, and I've got notes. I just can't find them right now on what it's called.
Goals. We had Chris Tomlin on last week, who was really good, man. He talked about, Charlie's service and like kind of how he had no prep and no sleep and just walked out there, didn't really know what he was doing, but like the presence of God was so real. So he was really good. We have a bunch of guests, but me and my pastor just talk about, different things going on in the world and how to set goals for your family. We've talked about everything from youth league sports to treating your bride like you're supposed to, like we just talked about. And like I said earlier, I can't do all the things. So we give you very tangible takeaways, like very easy ways to, okay, I can go do this step, and this step to improve and get better. But it's called Family Goals. We started in during COVID in a closet at the church. And it is amazing to watch God. Like, I went to Reese Davis's wedding, his daughter's wedding a couple weeks ago. And these couple kids in Connecticut was like, dude, I listen to Family Goals. I'm like, oh, you're the three people. You're one of the three. Thank you. But Dansby Swanson and Dabo Sweeney, like some of those guys, I'm like, daggum, like how the heck did they find this? And so God's used it, man. It's been fun to share it and to be a part of it with my pastor, Pastor Jay.
Such good stuff, man. And we won't keep you any longer, but we greatly appreciate it. This is, I'll go ahead and say it, like one of my favorite ones here, man.
No doubt. Go Dogs.
I'm not going to say
Go
that.
Dogs.
I mean, I'm not going to say all that. Calm down over here. But David Pollack.
You can't say that? Come on, man.
I'm good.
He did. He said it for the last 2 years when Carson was leading the way. Hey, I need to say this. It's really cool. I mean, he coaches big-time college quarterbacks and pro quarterbacks for a living. That's what he does. And for you to call your wife your hero,
yeah,
that's a strong word, my friend.
Not even
well
close.
Done.
Not
well
even
done.
close. Yep.
Well done.
Yep. Appreciate it. David, thanks, man. Seriously.
Absolutely.
Let's do it
Appreciate
again.
it, guys.
Let's do it again for sure. Make this a normal
Yes, sir.
thing. Built for More podcast, Danny Thompson, Pastor Joby Martin. Sorry, Joby. Big thank you to David Pollack. Oh, by the way, New York Times best-selling. We got to throw that in there. This dude's got a top 10 New York Times best-selling book right now.
Yeah, man.
Joby Martin.
That's hard to do.
Yes. Big
That
celebration.
is extremely hard to do.
Stand firm and act like men.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And a lot of people have worked on that. Like I've been around this place and man, I don't know that I've ever seen a place work so hard. It's saturated book, all that kind of stuff. It's been inspiring to be around here. So I'm happy for your success as well. Thank you everybody for listening. Make sure you continue to follow, tell your friends. We appreciate you. Built for More Pod. Thank you.